In this video, we are going to do revision exercise 4, algebra, equations, inequalities and formula. You will find this on page 177 in the Namibian Ordinary Level Mathematics textbook, y equals mx plus c to success. Let's start with the exercise. The first one, 1a, solve the equation. Now, most of this exercise will be in terms of equations. There can be exceptions, which I will show you. Now, this is a grade 8 basic linear equation. So I'm just going to show it quickly to you. If you struggle with it, you can go to your textbook and I'm going to write it every time, on page 124, if you want to just revise the basics. But for now, I think it's very simple. Okay, let's just get that to 2 equals 7. Now, the like terms must be on the same side. So I leave the 4x, and if I take it over, it's 7. And if this one goes over, to cancel that side, it's plus 2, plus 2. And then I have 4x, and that will be equal to 9. And then I divide 4, and I can leave it as 9 over 4, or I can write it as 2 1/4. So I'm getting an answer of x, usually with an equation. With an expression, there's usually 2 or 3 terms, but with an equation, there's most of the time a specific number. Okay, let's go to the next one. C equals, and I always like to first write that down, so this is number B. C is equal to 10D plus 3. Find the value of C when D is 2.3. This is just basic substitution. So in the place, and don't forget, in the place of D, I'm just going to substitute 2.3. So I'm going to say C equals 10, and then I put that 2.3 and I just add the 3. So this is going to be 23 plus that extra 3, and that will give an answer of 26. Okay, then the next one, the second one. Make D the subject of the formula. And if you cannot recall this, just go back to page, and I'm going to write to you, it's page 169 in the textbook, and just go through the basics. I don't want to do it in this video because it makes the videos very long and then I struggle to upload it. So I'm just going to go through it. But if you struggle, go to the videos that's on page 169. But for now, I'm just writing it down. Now, who must become the subject? This one must become. So first leave this term on this side and then take this over. So to cancel that side, it's -3 on the other side. And now I can just say I divide 10, and therefore, and I'm swapping the sides. Okay, but for now, let's do it like that. I'm just doing it a little bit longer. But usually we write the subject, so I'm just swapping the sides now. C minus 3, and that is over 10. If somebody is writing C over 10 minus 3 over 10, that will also be correct. Okay, let's move on. Number C. Okay, number C, oh, this is nice, and please, I'm writing it here. If you struggle, this is simultaneous equations, then go to page 133 and just revise it. I'm going to follow the method of elimination. I will tell you when we will do substitution, but I personally think that elimination is the best to use in this case. I'm first rewriting everything. Now, remember what elimination means. It means something must cancel out. Now, a positive 2, what will cancel out positive 2? A negative 2. What will cancel out negative 3? a positive 3. So the numbers must be the same and the signs must be different. And if it's not like that, I must try to make it like that. So if I look, there's a 2 and there's a 1. But if I take this whole equation, don't put the bracket there, put it there at the end, and I multiply it by 2, then I'm going to get 8. Okay, let's call this 1 and 2. Then I'm going to get 8x minus 2y is equal to 6, and that's still equation 2. And then 6x plus 2y is equal to 22. And then I draw the line. And now this is exactly what I want. It cancels. And if that cancels, then I'm getting 14 and I'm getting 28. And then I divide by 14, and I get that the value of x, that will be equal to 2. But now I must find x and y. So then I substitute x is equal to 2 in, say, equation 1. Doesn't matter. You can also substitute in 2. Then I'm just rewriting that. And when I see, I'm first just going to rewrite it. Can I just take it to that side? And then I put the 2. So it's 6, 2 plus 2y is equal to 22. Then I'm moving it up. So I'm going to get 12 plus 2y equals 22. So, oh, let's just get that pen correct. So 2y is equal to 22 minus 12. So 2y is equal to 10. Then I divide by 2, and my value of y will be equal to 5. So therefore, x is equal to 2 and y is equal to 5. Okay, so make sure, I really think this is the type of thing that you will find in the examination. So if you struggle still with it, go to page 133 and do a few extra. Can I just say, if you get an equation, and it's now not in this case, but say for example, you get an equation and it's x, just want to get my pen correct, if it's xy equals 5 and x plus y equals 2. Say there's a multiply, then you must follow the method of substitution. But if you have separate terms, I think the elimination is the best. Okay, let's go on. Okay. Now in this one, and I want you to notice that this is an expression. So it's almost like, but they like doing that. So they like to start with an expression and then they make it an equation. But then they want you to use this method to solve this equation. So this is Factorize. And can you still remember Factorize? Where did we do that? It's page 100. If you want to just reflect back, go to page 100. So then I will have, okay, let's have 2a, and the first one, and it's going to be x squared minus x minus 20. Now, they say factorize, it's a trinomial, and it's in group B. You know, I like to call it like that. So there's a 1, so it's 1 and 1, and 4 and 5. And if you look, 5, subtract 4, because it's in group B. It's 1. And then the biggest overcross product, which is that one. And that one must get then this sign, which is a negative. And then this one is the opposite. It's a positive. And then this is going to be x. X, do it on the side. And then just write your final answer here. X plus 4. X minus 5. And now the reason why they did this is because in the second one now, they use exactly the same and they just make it an equation. So they say x squared, so they want you to use that factorization. They're actually helping you. And if you want to see this and to solve, go to your textbook, and I'm writing it in again. That will be on page 141. Okay, how to solve quadratic equations by making use of factorization. Okay, so in this case, they want you to use this answer. So, because this, do you notice that this is exactly the same as this? So it's x plus 4, x minus 5, and that's 0. So therefore, x is equal to negative 4 or x is equal to 5. Okay, I'm going to put in that step. Sorry. You can go directly, but can I just show you, because I want to do it a little bit longer. You put this bracket equal to 0, or you put this bracket. So one of the brackets must be 0 to end to a 0 result. So therefore, you get x is equal to negative 4 or x is equal to 5. Okay, and then I just basically solve that too. Okay, and now I get to number B. Right, so in number B, I'm saying to you, this is number 2B, I say solve the equation. Now, if you see this, show all your working and give your answer correct to 2 decimal places. Then you must know we cannot factorize. I will either complete the square, but I'll show you now. You don't do that. I think the best will then be to go for the quadratic formula. And please go and memorize it. The formula, and I'm just going to write it here for you. It's x is equal to negative b plus my, don't forget that negative, plus minus b squared minus 4ac. So there's an a, a c, and a b. I'll show you now. So please, I'm urging you all to go and memorize it. They will not give it to you. Okay, so they give you the quadratic equation, which they gave you there. It's going to be 3x squared minus 2x minus 2 is equal to 0. Now, you can factorize, but okay, that's one of the methods to solve a quadratic equation, is to factorize. But this one cannot factorize, so I will go for the formula, but I'm going to also show you at the end how to do it by completing the square. But always go for the formula then. Then don't forget, the value in front of x squared, it's a. Grab that sign. The value in front of x is b. Grab that sign, and this is c. And now I substitute. Don't substitute the values of x. I'm writing down my formula. That's going to be x is equal to negative b plus minus, and I say it again, memorize it, because it's easy marks. Okay, so put the negative and always substitute in brackets. Don't, if you're just going to leave out the bracket, you're going to end up with a negative and it's going to turn into a positive, because that is the negative outside and that negative is inside. So please substitute in brackets. So it's negative 2 squared minus 4. Value of a is 3. Let's just get my pen correct. And the value of c, what is the value of c? It's negative 2, and it's over 2, and the value of a is 3. And now, a negative times a negative is a positive. Positive. Plus minus. Now, a negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. And then please, people, don't make, it's going to be either a minus or a plus or a positive. Press it on your calculator if you struggle. Say negative 4 times 3 times negative 2. But it must be, I can see there's 2 negative signs, so it will be a positive. If there was 1 negative sign, it would have been a negative. And if there was 3, it would have been a negative. But please, it's 4 times 3, which is 12, and times 2, which is going to be 24. Okay, and then it's going to be over 6. And from here on, you can almost start using your calculator. So it's going to be 28 over 6. Now, the one answer you get by following the positive road, and the other answer you get by following the negative road. So now, go and press on your calculator, and really listen, it's not, you must press that equal. Press 2 plus square root 28, and then press equals. and then divide 6 equal. And then they said 2 decimal places, so it's 1.22. Or, and now press again, 2 minus square root 28 equals, I'm following the negative road, divide 6. Please don't forget to press that equal. Otherwise, your calculator will just divide that and then, otherwise you must put a bracket if you don't want to press the equal. And then I get negative 0.55. So always, if you have a quadratic equation and you see correct to 2 decimal places, then go and do the formula. I just want to show you, and I'm going to show it in this video because I'm not going to do the next exercise this year. But I want to show you, if you get on this, and I'm just showing, and then I'm just going to refresh your memory, basically by showing you that. Okay. If they do it like this, they say solve the following equation by completing the square and give your answer to 3, and then they give you a quadratic. If they say completing the square, please don't forget that you cannot use the formula then you will get 0 marks, even if your answers are correct. And I'm going to show you now. I just want to quickly tell you where in the textbook to find completing the square. I'm just searching quickly for it. Okay, no, I didn't find it yet. It's on page, but I will quickly do for you one. Okay, still searching. Okay, it's on page 145 in the textbook, on page 145 and 146. So page 145, page 145 and page 146, you will see this method. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go back to the previous page, and I want to leave this one. I want to leave this answer. I'm just going to move it. And I'm just going to show you that I can do this one by completing the square. Okay. But because I just want to, especially for the examination, I just want you to refresh your memory in completing the square. So if you have, let's just get a value there. If you have 3x squared minus 2x minus 2 equals 0. Now completing the square works like this. You must have a 1 there. So you divide 3, you divide 3, you divide 3, you divide 3. So you get x squared minus 2 over 3x. And now you take the term without an x over. And you even leave a space. And now you make a perfect square. So you take this 2 over 3 and you divide it by 2. So you can even press it, just interesting. 2 ABC 3, divide 2, and this is going to be 4 over 6, but my calculator, if you did it on a calculator, it's going to give you 1 over 3, and it's all right. And it's going to be square. And then it's an equation. So whatever I add on this side, I add on this side. Let's just get it correct. And now this is a perfect square. So I take this x, I take that sign, I take that value, and I put that square outside, and then it's 2 over 3 plus 1, and 3 times 3 is 9. And now I can just simplify this. The best is use your ABCs on your calculator. So say 2 ABC, you can do it without, plus 1 ABC 9, and my calculator say it's 7 over 9. Okay, so then I'm just going to say it's x minus 1 over 3. I'll show you now. And this is now 7 over 9. Now to get rid of that square, I take the square root of both sides. And don't forget, if you take square root, that it's plus minus. Okay, now this is actually like, you can do it like this. You say, okay, I take the square root of the 7 and the square root of the 9, and the square root of 9 is 3. So it's going to be plus minus square root 7 over 3. And now I'm taking this one over. So it's 1 over 3 plus minus square root 7 over 3. And then I'm just pressing on my calculator. 1 plus square root 7 equals, divide 3 equals. And, oh, it's so nice. It's giving me 1.22. Exactly the same. And then I follow the negative row. So 1 minus square root 7 equals, divide 3 equals, and I'm getting negative 0.55, exactly the same. So in this question, you could have either do the formula or complete the square. But in the question that I showed you on the next page, if you do it with the formula, you will get 0. You must do it with completing the square. So if they are telling you, then you have to do completing the square. Okay, just revise. But go back to that page, as I said to you. It's on page 145 if you just want to revise it. Let's go on. Okay, I'm just going to make space again for myself. Okay, now I'm going to do number C. Y is equal to m squared minus, let's start again, m squared minus 4n squared. Again, do you see it's an expression and they say factorize? So they like to combine algebraic expressions and algebraic equations in an examination. So if they just say that part, m squared minus 4n squared, then don't forget it's two terms. So you can either take out a common factor or difference between two squares. Look, there's a 1. So it's square numbers, there's the difference. And then the exponent is divisible by 2. So there's my two brackets. One is a plus, one is a minus. And don't forget, you'll find that from page 100 on. And then I'm just taking the square root m, square root 2n, and I just repeat. And that will then be my final answer. Okay, then I move on. Find the value of y when n. Now this is basically just substitution. Again, they tell me m. So in the place of m, I put 4.4. Oh, let's just get it correct. 4.4 squared minus 4. And what is the value of n? 2.8. And then I press on my calculator 4.4 squared, and I'm getting 19.36, and then it's 2.8 squared multiply 4, and it's minus 31.36. And then I'm just subtracting that. Can you see? Okay. And then that's actually very easy because the commas is the same and it's just giving me negative. Basically substitution. Okay. Then I get to the next one, the third one. Okay, they say m is this, but remember it's still part of the c. So it's part of. So m is this and n. Find y in terms of x and in its simplest form. So basically you must start with this equation again. Y equals m squared minus 4n squared. But then I just put it on the side. Don't forget that m is equal to 2x plus 3 and n is equal to x minus 1. Okay, so then I have y is equal, and I just say, it's actually just testing multiplication. 2x plus 3 squared minus 4x minus 1. Oh, I don't like that it's so close. X minus 1 squared. Okay. And now it's just multiplying it out. So I think the best will be to write it out 2 times. And be careful. You see, that's x minus 1, I don't want to do the short way, but you can. So I multiply. Can you still remember how I multiply? Multiply, 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 multiply. So I will get 4x squared plus 6x plus 6x plus 9. Now, please put a bracket there. And I'm going to move it a little bit. And first, rewrite. I just want to keep it first yellow. Negative 4. And now I bring my bracket. I just want to clean all this. Okay. And I bring in my bracket. And I multiply x squared. Multiply negative x. Multiply negative x plus 1. And then it's going to be 4x squared. I can already simplify this. 12x. This is going to be 5. No. This is going to be 9. This must, oh sorry, I almost made a big mistake. I must first, you can only if there was a positive or negative. I must multiply, 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 multiply. So this is negative, let's keep it yellow. Negative 4x squared minus 4x, no, not negative 4x, a negative times a negative, positive 4x, positive 4x minus 4. And that's going to be, okay, now I can start to concentrate and see what cancel. Can you see this one cancel with this one? Oh, I like it. This one is like. So 12 plus 4, it's 16. 16 plus 4, so this is going to be 20x. And then this one is like to this one, and there is my plus 5. And leave it like this. It's giving me, that is the value, so therefore y will be this. They actually just test multiplication in the sum. Let's move on. Okay, find the value of y. Okay, then okay, that was, and now find y in terms of x. That's okay. Now the last one, that's number 2, and this is c, and this is the 4th one. Make n this. Okay, I first want to rewrite it, and then they say. Make, what must I make the subject? Make n. Okay, now what I usually say with subject of the formula, and I want to say if you still struggle with that, you can go to page 169. Because this term is negative, I take it over, then it becomes positive. So it's 4n equals m squared. Bring this one over negative y. If it was positive, I would have leave it on the side. But because it's negative, I'm taking it over. And then I just divide 4. So therefore, n equals m squared minus y over 4. Which can also be m squared over 4 minus y over 4. Okay, let me just see if it seems to me now that I'm checking my answer. And maybe you were picking it up. It seems to me, oh, I made a mistake. Do you see that transcription error of mine? Okay, so there should have been a 2. There should have been a 2. This is still a 2. So then I'm not going to write that therefore. So always make sure. I'm doing this video a little bit late. So then usually you make a little bit unnecessary mistakes. So therefore, and don't forget plus minus. Okay. And then, then it will be m squared minus y over 4. It's just in practical sums that the negative can disappear. But if it's not, it's just simple changing subject of the formula, then make it plus minus. Okay, so sorry, please check that you copy it correctly. Okay, let's go to the next one, number D. Okay, this can be written as this. Now let's just see. So m, and this is number 2D, m4 minus 16n4 can be written. It's actually just to show, oh, it's difference between two squares. So first do that. It's 2, so I'm just going to say this is 2 brackets. One is a positive, other one is a negative. So it's m2 4n squared, m2 4n squared. And now I'm basically just going to look. Now, what did they say? If you look at what they compare here, can I just show you? They have m squared minus kn squared, and this is m squared plus kn squared. So k is every time standing in the place of 4. So basically I can say, therefore, k can be positive 4, or I can say that k can also be negative 4. Okay. Then the next one, factorize completely. So that was the first one. And again, remember, Factorize is on page 100. Very good to just refresh your memory again on that. So m4n minus 16n5. Always first try for a common factor. If I look in the common factor, it will be n. And now it will be m4 minus 16n. And now look how they helped me in the previous example. This is what they will do. Can you all see that this was exactly this? So Factorize is like this. You take out a common factor, then you check the bracket if it can factorize further. Usually then it will be either a different, if it can factorize further, it will be either a difference between 2 squared or a trinomial. So look up. And then you say, oh, this is nice. Then n, and then I just repeat this. m2 plus 4n squared, m2 minus 4n squared. So then just make sure that you don't forget to factorize further. Otherwise you will not get full marks. And then I'm coming to the last one in this video. Okay. Nice practical ones, but please, they're not going to ask you so difficult, and just try. It's not really that difficult, the practical. I'm going to underline a few things, and that usually helps you if you must write the equations down. So let's start with number 3a. Y is 5 less, than the square of the sum of P and Q. Square of the sum of P and Q. So what does sum mean? And I want you to take you back, and I just want to see in the textbook. I didn't write it in now. I just want to show you where solving problems. I want to see where is that list where I was writing. Sorry, I'm going to take a little bit. I'm just searching for something. So it's taking me just a little bit of time because I'm looking for the practical examples and the list, that sum, product, that you just can go through that list. Okay, it's on page 127. So go to page 127 in the textbook, and then I'm telling you what kind of words is saying addition. It's like sum, increase, more, added. And what is saying subtraction? It's like subtracted, decreases, less, difference. What is saying multiplication? It's product, multiplied, times, twice. What is saying division? It's divided, it's a half, it's a quarter. But it stands there on page 127 in the textbook Y equals mx plus c. Okay, so the square of the sum, that means plus, and that means square. So I must take P and Q, and I must square it. Okay, and then y is 5 less, and less means subtract, and this is just an expression first. Write down a formula for y in terms of Q. It's not an equation, that's your answer. Then starts number B. The cost of a magazine is X. So magazine, underline for yourself. And the cost of a newspaper is this. The total cost, don't forget, the total cost of 6 magazines and 9 newspapers is this. Okay, so let's start with X. The cost of a is X. Now, how many magazines are there? There are 6. Okay, can you all see that? So I'm going to say 6x. And total means I'm going to add. And 9 newspapers. Now, what is the cost of a newspaper? It's x minus 6. So it's 9 times x minus 30. And then they give you the total. So they give you this, it's an equation now. And that's 510. And now write and solve. So then I just start. And I'm just going to multiply out. And then I'm going to say that 9 times it's going to be 270 equals 510. And then I'm just going to get 15x, and it's 510. I add that to 70, and that's 15x equal, oh, let's just get it correct, 780, and then I divide by 15. I divide by 15, so therefore the value of x is 52. And always with word sums, just read. Write down and solve the equation to find the and solve an equation in x to find the cost of a magazine. So therefore the cost of a magazine is $52. Okay, if they were asking what is the cost of a new newspaper, then it would be 52 minus that 30, and that would have been then 22. Okay, but that was not the question. So always read your question at the end, especially in word sums, and make sure you answer the questions. Okay, and this is the exercise about algebra equations.